Hello everyone, I'm Thedas Wind. I've just blown in. And today we are back more Seduce Me 2, The Demon Wars. Last time, we began the final run of James's path. I've had bad nightmares, I've had good communication with my guy this time, and I've explained to him, nightmares bad. We did a creepy tarot card reading. That was so weird. We're in the demon world, and James and Diana are glaring daggers at each other, 'cause I don't know. And now we're having a little chat with Diana. Oh yeah, we were asked to pick our trainer, and we chose Diana because obviously she is the badass. And apparently there is a shadow Diana running around too. Yay! Good times. Anyway, with that recap quickly covered, let's get back into the game, shall we? I truly didn't know. All I knew was that Sario told me, but I knew better than to tell Diana that just from what Sario warned me about. Oh yeah, Sario. Yeah, I know things I shouldn't know. And skip button. Diana's eyebrow furrowed, but she nodded.
I see.
Do you? Do you with your one eye? And let's skip. Till I can make a decision. Diana fighting with herself, and you know what? I'm gonna help her because I'm a good person. Yeah. We've helped her before, and together we kick ass. She slices open her shadow counterpart, and you know what? I'm just gonna leave this for another day. I hope your staff will clean up this mess. I'm gonna go. I would get my answers another time. Diana needed this time alone. Run away! And I go back to my room, only, yeah, it feels wrong in here, and, I'm going to investigate, because, oh yeah, those weird dreams I talked about in the recap, yeah, apparently angels have gotten to their head. They need to mess with me. And James. Yeah. Wrap your head around that one, didn't you? So, if something doesn't feel off in this room, I would like to find out what. So let's investigate, shall we? And we've seen what happens when we investigate. We find the question marks, who will show us a vision of the past, where James and Diana were having a conversation that this would have been in the last game, before I burst in on them and tell her, back off, bitch, she's mine. Okay, not my exact words, but I'm sure everyone was thinking it. And you know what, Angel? Fuck you, okay? Just fuck you. He is mine. I don't regret this decision. Fuck you. And we see what happens when we tell the angel to go fuck off. And
I see that you're beginning to understand.
Not really. Not at all, sir. You're kind of in the way. What's done is done.
Give him up.
No. All at once, my head became filled with cries and screams of people I didn't know of. Pain from men, women, and children echoed in my mind as I gripped at my head, wanting it to stop. The heat around me was unbearable. I could barely stand it. You know what? I love him. And nothing this angel does is ever going to change that. No, this wasn't happening. I needed to get out of here, and I need the skip button. And Demon World, and Vision, and Diana. And it's the night before final battle, and you know what? If this might be our last night together, let's have all the fun, shall we? I needed to hold him and treat the night like it was the last night of the world. Tomorrow was unpredictable, but tonight was guaranteed. Exactly. Go for it. I slowly glided my hands to cup his head, looking up at him and staring deep in his eyes. I felt his hands gently slide across my waist, softly grasping my hips as he stared patiently at me. A rush of courage ran through my body as I gently pulled him forward and captured his lips with my own. My eyes fluttered closed as I took a deep breath, taking in his scent, his warmth, his love for me. Aww. I was blessed to have this man as my own, and to see him claw through destiny to remain with me and be mine. Aww. As he slid his hands up my back and hugged me closer to him, I could tell he felt the same. Aww. Good relationship. My head tilted back as James began to trail kisses down my chin and onto my neck, causing me to arc back a bit and press my chest against his. As his teeth lightly grazed my skin, a wild shiver ran up my spine. His hands tightened around my waist and tugged me hard against his body as he ravished my neck and shoulders in kisses and licks. My own hands began to wander his hair, combing through his black locks. For one more night, I would forget about everything, except the feeling of this man and I making love. As it should be. Because she's right, we honestly don't know, will we survive tomorrow? It wasn't long before James and I wound up in bed with me straddling over his lap, with my back to his chest. Us in only our bare minimums. James marked every inch of my body with his lips and tongue, desperate to make me quake in his arms from pleasure. I couldn't help but let myself grind over the hardening length of his boxer briefs. Ah, that does answer your question, boxers or briefs. My own core lightening in desire for him and slightly craving to just ravish and ride. Hey, does not sound bad. However, James's hands drifted along my body, making me submissive to his touch and guidance. I was left to moan and mew at his fingers dragging themselves over me and eventually teasing me beneath my clothes. The wild moans that wanted to erupt from me at his strokes filled my head with a lustful haze as James began to enthrall me and kiss hard over my shoulder. I began to bite my lip, trying to control them.
Don't hold it in.
Not a problem. As if to emphasize his command, he began to remove our last articles of clothing, turning me around in his arms and pinning me against the bedpost. Dude, for the last time, you couldn't let her be on top. Jerk. Well, no he's not, but... I had to wrap my legs around him to keep myself up as he pressed his hips against the wood of the bed. I looked deep into James's eyes, becoming lost in them as I finally let go, feeling him take me at last and letting the pleasure ripple through my body in waves. My arms wrapped themselves around his neck as he pressed me against the wall and began to drive into me in loving but hard fervor. My energy was slowly draining, but I didn't care, because I'm a human battery. My mind was becoming a mess, but I didn't care. Understandable. All I gave a damn about at this point in time was James and I holding each other and riding through the immense pleasure between us. James knew everything about me. Oh, how to make me melt, how to make me keen. He loved to use everything in his power to make me feel absolutely loved and amazing. Well, I did my best to make him feel the same. Oh, this is why I say good relationship. Also why communication's so frickin' important. Even as the end began to crash through us, our eyes spoke volumes of our deep passion and love for each other. My heart pounded wildly for James, and I dared to claim him as mine. That's right, angels. Back off. Your stone destiny can go somewhere. He was completely and utterly mine, as I was completely and utterly his. Joyful tears gently dripped down my eyes from the feelings bursting in my heart, but I gripped James close, desperate not to let go. He did the same, pressing his lips to mine and capturing every loving sound I made for him. I lost count of how many times we let ourselves go. I became absorbed in his kisses, his touches on my body, our love, that I was barely awake by the time it all ended, with his arms around me. His breath became my guide, his body my solace. Wait, you became a bald-headed elf? Oh, different solace. My hands gripped him as my body naturally cuddled close to him, taking in his warmth. A small chuckle echoed from him as James petted my hair.
I love you so much.
I love you too, James. I will never let you go. We would survive. We would be okay. I felt safe in James's arms, and I'm sure he felt safe in mine. Aw, best feeling in the world, actually. He would return to the human world and be okay. Keep holding that belief, girl. Tomorrow would decide everything. And the day of war begins. On to attack the Demon Lord. And their turn at the skip button. Yay! And it's time. We march. Diana rallies. We run. They fight. They fight.
I've watched that word fall on deaf ears. I've seen lives destroyed, despite love guiding them forward. The mere word has become a throwaway amalgam of letters, used to express minor joy for things that will decay and die in the end.
Oh yeah, Diana just got possessed by an angel after we killed the Demon Lord. Yay, good times. Doesn't matter what you think. You know what? Love is stronger than you think. And we fight, and James has her pinned, and they're fighting. He's going to strangle her. But you know what? I must stop him. Because this isn't Diana acting. This is an angel acting through Diana. See my thesis on angels are assholes. I needed to stop him before he killed her. The angel wasn't worth her death. Exactly. Yeah, we've seen this. My fear only spurred me to flail harder in the hold I was in, uncaring for the friction his hands was causing my skin. I could feel blood gather and dribble from my back of my neck, flesh tearing open from my attempts. James stared up at me, quaking from fear of the situation. We were far away from him, where he couldn't reach me even if he sprinted as I dropped. Oh yeah, he just threatened to drop me into an abyss. Yay. I was left to James's decision. However, trumpet music. Something in James's eyes changed. A dark gold painted over his eyes as he began to float in the air.
Go!
You tell him, sweetie.
As you wish!
Bad word choice. I'm still over the pit of teeth, aren't I? A gasp managed to rush into my body as the angel's hand on my neck vanished without a trace. My body began to fall into the open pit below me, a wave of intense heat reaming at my legs, before I felt a strong pair of arms wrap around me and pull me forward. What? I looked up to see James gripping me tightly. Aww. Flying back away from the angel with me, encased in his tight hold. As we reached the doorway of the main hall, James landed and set me down, keeping his intense glare on the angel by the throne. As the angel made their way towards us, I could feel the air become colder with each step he took.
You cannot smite me, demon. It is useless to try.
Sure you can. We're main characters. We can do whatever we want.
If I cannot kill you, then I will send you to a place you can never escape from.
Ooh. Cool. To purgatory with him. On James's words, a large set of purple, ethereal tendrils snaked around the angel's hands and neck, tugging him back roughly. James and I looked back to see Diana, risen from her unconscious state and glaring daggers into the back of the angel's cloak, as her hand connected her to the tendrils around her target. Get him, D! This is why Diana's awesome, by the way. It was mildly frightening to see her eyes completely coated in gold, just like James's eyes, as she snarled at her own captured victim.
How dare you defile me!
Exactly. Kick his ass, D! James, in retaliation. Wow, I didn't know that pronunciation was. James, in retaliation, formed a large wall between himself and the angel, pushing him back in time with Diana's tendril pulls. Ah, we're double teaming him now, are we? Each time the angel dispelled one of the tendrils on his body, James pushed forward and Diana formed another tendril in its place. It became a team effort, forcing the angel back to balance his feet over the edge of the hell pit he opened. Yeah, bet you regret that trapdoor now. However, despite each rough tug and push James and Diana gave him, the angel continued to balance himself. With a burst of white light, the angel completely dissolved the tendrils and magic wall, jutting upwards and floating high in the air, tense and growling. The two demons, however, wouldn't let him hang around for long. Good, get out, go, you're not wanted here. Simultaneously, James and Diana pounced off the ground and flew into the air at the angel. Diana on her summoned but damaged wings, and James with his new powers. Wait, did he get wings too? Diana summoned her saber, and James formed his sword, clashing them against the angel's body. The blades didn't break, but simply pounded against the cloak the angel wore, as if they were hitting armor. Boo, cheating. The angel became frazzled as he began to defend himself against the two opponents, each not giving him an ounce of mercy in their attacks. Nor should they. Fuck that guy. I was almost dizzying to see Diana and James fly around their target, taking shots at him at ridiculous speeds. Yeah, it would kind of be nice to see, actually. Each hit resulted in a loud clang of steel against stone that bounced around the room in an endless but random cycle. Watching Diana and James encircle the angel with attacks was like watching gold and purple fireworks going off against the moon. Again, wish we could see this. Suddenly, Diana's saber was launched out of her hands, causing Diana to float back a bit in shock, while James attacked the angel head-on. Her indeed, girl. As the angel knocked back James's attack, Diana swooped up behind the angel and entangled her arms around him, and locked her legs around his cloak, while pressing herself between his wings. Yes, demobilized him.
What?
Yes, get him, D.
Lux!
Lux? Wait, my Mimikyu's here? Cool. Wait, that's a different spelling. At her cry, purple and black lightning began to spatter and shake around the angel and Diana, freezing them in the air, but electrocuting both.
James, no!
Get him! Incubus didn't falter as he gathered energy into his blade, making it gleam in almost ethereal, godlike glow.
No!
Do it!
It's over!
It truly is. With a large shout, James shot himself forward and impaled his sword into the angel's body, successfully ramming it through his body and securing both the angel and Diana. Aww, pretty. Need to work on your aim, sweetie. Although, yeah, he sounds hurt. Gold and purple lightning wrapped around the angel, both from Diana's spell and James's blade, causing the wings on his back to burn away into bones. Then to ash. The angel's hands slowly began to darken to an ashy black color from the electrocution. James ripped his blade out from his two victims as Diana finally pushed herself away from the angel, leaving him to float in the air for a moment, frozen from the pain. As the angel began to fall, he let out a deathly scream before falling into the hell pit below. Bye! Say hi to Lucifer for us. Bye! Could have happened to a nicer guy. The angel's body vanished into the hell pit, before a large burst of red and orange flames burst from its opening. The chaotic screams of the devils erupted from the pit as the flames began to die out and vanish. Say hi to Balix for us. I'm sure he's down there somewhere. Soon enough, the pit slowly closed itself, having been fed a proper body to seal it away. I collapsed onto my knees, feeling the drain of the entire situation hit me like a ferocious wave. It was over. It was over at last. But for how long? This entire situation became a chaotic mess. James forced the angel of fate into a pit of hell. Yeah, that's gotta be an achievement. Did this mean that James was free? Well, what about the angel? Well, I think we might know our enemy for the next game. Too many questions rang in my head, but stopped as James landed beside me and knelt down to me, lifting my chin and making me look up at him. He looked worn out, panting for air from the experience, but still had a kind smile. Aww. It was so satisfying feeling James with me. I'd barely noticed the black scar on his chest vanish from his skin, as I became lost in his eyes in relief.
It's over now.
Fingers crossed. I could only nod, feeling the slow growth of elation tickle into my chest as I looked up at James. He was alive, we were still together, and the angel was gone. If it wasn't over, I was sure that the angels would have come at us. Well, it might take time for them to mobilize. I wrapped my arms around James, relieved that everything was over and we were at peace at last. Diana, however, let out a panicked gasp from where she had fallen, gripping the open wound on her stomach and panting. She might need first aid. We should get on that. James and I looked over in surprise as Diana began coughing up blood and calling out.
Settle!
Yeah, you might want to get your manservant. On her command, a burst of white light emerged in front of her body before revealing her half-angel guard. Oh, right, he's half holy, looking around him at the new surroundings and locking his sights down on his fallen mistress. Kinda sort of our fault, but, kinda worth it.
We see her!
Yeah, you might want to get her some first aid. Quickly, Seru dropped to his knees and placed his hands over her wound while he wrapped an arm around her shoulders and back. Diana winced and continued to pant for air, gritting her teeth.
What happened? Who did...
Dude, it was an epic battle. Just help her.
Shut up and heal me.
Exactly. Diana always has the best priorities. Seru nodded in quick obedience before muttering to himself and closing his eyes. White energy flowed through his hands and into Diana's wound. To my astonishment, the wound slowly began to close and zip together, like it never was there. As Diana let out a sigh, she closed her eyes and relaxed into Seru's arms, laying her head against his upper arm. Seru let out a breath of relief as well, moving his hand beneath Diana's knees and lifting her up, bridal style. Oh, bridal style. I think that was your favorite phrase last game. And by bridal style, I mean she's standing on her own 2 feet in her usual pose. James and I stood as soon as Sarah did, facing him as he turned to us and glared hard at James. Sarah, time and place. We'll deal with this later. I gripped onto James's hand, stepping forward to be between the boys as Sarah began to walk towards us.
What happened?
Dude, tone.
We fought an angel. It has been properly disposed of.
Yeah, we fed it to a hell pit. The air in the room once again chilled as Sarah kept his stare on my husband. Fiancé. A faint white glow surrounding his body. It faded, however, at his mistress's voice.
Sarah.
Sarah looked down to see Diana looking up at him and bringing a hand up to his cheek. The tension in his eyes faded at the sight and feel of her actions, making me release the fearful breath I was holding in. Without another word, against my incubus, Sarah turned and walked around me and James. As he reached the door, however, he turned his head towards us.
It would seem that your destiny has been broken. Well done.
Woo! Go us! It only took killing an angel.
How do you know this?
Holy magic. Where do you think it comes from? Sarah didn't speak again before leaving us alone. James and I watched him leave, before relaxing into each other's arms with me laying my head on James's shoulder. I could only remember Sarah's words as he vanished into the dark of the castle hall. If Sarah was right, then James had enough power to break his stone destiny, and him sending the angel packing only confirmed it. Thank God. I'm pretty sure God has nothing to do with this, sweetie. It's over.
Yes, it is.
James and I held each other tightly, taking in the situation. The war was over. The angel hunt for James was apparently over. We were safe now, and we could go home. I mean, we could, or, alternate plan, we take over Daddy Dear's kingdom and we rule. All we could do now was let out a sigh and cherish the silence that followed. We would go home soon. Oh. It was over. The war was finally over, and the skip buttons returned. Yay! Good times had by all. And at the congratulations, job of victory accomplished party, Diana wants me to follow her. So, yeah, I'm gonna follow her. And we're in the hall. Alone. Balcony. Which looks strangely like my balcony in the human world, if you think about it.
I have to thank you, dear.
Yes, you do. You owe me a lot. Then again, I guess I owe her too, so... For what?
For aiding us in this war. We've been fighting the Demon Lord for so long. We thought the war would never end. As terrible as the circumstance was, if you hadn't been summoned here, we probably would have still been fighting now.
You don't know that. I like to think you're capable and you have good people around you.
To be very honest, I didn't expect to ever see you again.
Aw, same.
After I took your energy that night, I vowed to never deal with humans again.
Good.
No clairvoyance could have told me about you coming into play in this war.
And yet, you knew there was going to be a sequel. I wasn't counting on coming here. I mean, maybe one day say hello to the in-law. It was good to see you again, though. I still don't want to be here. But at least I got to help bring peace here. You know what? It was good to see you again, though. Especially, when you're not actively being the antagonist. Diana stared wide-eyed at me, a small form of blush on her cheeks. What? It was true. And we've seen all this, and...
Nevertheless, I'm glad things worked out in the end, whether it was for the better or otherwise.
I got my guy. We're all alive. I'm assuming this is the air quotes good ending. So, yeah, I can't think of how it could have went better.
I mean, not only did James defeat his father, the dreaded Demon Lord, but both of you took out a band of angels! Seriously! That's wild!
I know, right?
But I guess it was for the best, or else they would have kept trying to hunt you down and make James the king of the demon world. Angels. So persistent.
Don't I know it?
Anyways, you've been through a lot, so why don't we skip to... Huh? You want to know what happened after the war?
Sure.
Well, I mean, I guess I could tell you. After the war was finished, the entire rebellion celebrated. Word spread far and wide about the rebellion's success, and I believe that is everything that happened after, well, except for your story anyway.
My story, you say?
James and you returned home and prepared once again for your marriage. Everything was taken care of before he found you, so no one knew the wiser.
Uh-huh. I call shenanigans. Also, thank you, Naomi and Zuzu. I assumed you were the ones on top of this.
Huh? How do I know? Well, I have my ways. Maybe you should check it out.
I would love to. Also, I'm pretty sure you are a caterer. The wedding was perfect. The reception even more so. Everything that happened to me before the wedding was completely washed away by the nerves that rushed through me and the joy I felt when I finally said, I do. As the wedding bells chimed and the cheers rang through the air as James and I finally kissed, I could almost see my future laid out before me, and it was gorgeous. Oh, just so pretty, you guys. I could go on and on about the wedding and the honeymoon, wink, but honestly, after the war, I was more concerned with living my life afterwards. Yeah, understandable. Our lives escalated to new heights after we officially became husband and wife. Aww. James helped the Anderson Toy Company skyrocket through the business world, now an official Anderson heir, which I'm sure made my dad really happy. I stood beside him, aiding him in every way possible. Aww. Support your loved ones, folks. It's important. As for me, I began to go through my own success in life, dedicating myself to becoming exactly what I wanted to be. After all, my husband was a CEO, and nothing was barred from me. If I put the same amount of work in as I did in the demon world, then I was going to be okay. Oh, I don't like they don't say what exactly my success is. I mean, you can be a successful stay-at-home housewife / mom or pet mom, you know, whatever your cup of tea is. I could be doing YouTube, I could be doing art, I could be just saying, like, what was my character's thing? However, there was never a day that went by that I didn't think about what was happening in the Abyssal Plains. It was a heavy chapter of my life, one that tested the love between me and James. Very true. Also, I'm kind of curious how Diana's role's going. The memory of the angel that chased after us would always run shivers down my spine, reminding me that at any moment an angel could lash out at us once more. Yeah, I know nothing about that fear. Still, I was confident that we would get through it and stay together no matter what came our way. Demon, devil, angel, it didn't matter to us. We were unstoppable together. Exactly. The faint memory of my own power slightly tingled through me every time I grew confident. Oh, I didn't take my circlet home? Eagerly reminding me that I had the strength on my own. I would never let anyone come between me and James ever again. Good, as it should be. The slow settling of it all rubbled in my mind as I laid in bed, holding James close to me. I was so happy to see him every morning, even more so now to occasionally glimpse his wedding ring resting on his ring finger. Aww. Look at that face. I couldn't help myself from brushing my fingers over his gorgeous black locks, staring at his closed eyes. Those eyes are very much opened. How did I ever deserve you? We fought an angel. Before that, we fought a succubus. Before that, we fought a devil. You know, we've been through some stuff. It seemed so unreal holding him close to me. How lucky was I to have a man who not only was strong, but also intelligent and charming, all in one package. Yeah, he is kind of a little much. The demon part of him almost became an extra dab of cream on the top. Yeah. Whenever I looked at him, my heart would overflow in joy. This was indeed true love, and I was the luckiest person in the universe. Very true. Because we've seen all the times you were the unluckiest person in the universe already. We have been divinely punished, we've accepted our destiny, and we begged for an angel's forgiveness. So, yeah, I think we were due a good run. I softly leaned in and kissed his forehead, needing to show my love even as he slept. He protected me with his arms around me, and I would show him my gratitude for as long as we were together. Aww. My kiss, however, slowly made James begin to stir in my arms. I gasped a bit before giggling, seeing his eyes slowly flutter open. The sight of his tired, whiskey-colored eyes made my heart do giddy flips, knowing that they would always look at me out of love. Aww. Good morning.
Good morning.
Aww. James nuzzled into the pillow beneath his head, taking a moment to wake up at last before smiling up at me. I smiled back, sliding my body closer to James and nuzzling his chest. How did you sleep?
I slept well. Waking up to your smile is so much better.
A red blush rushed across my face before I buried my face on James's shoulder, making him laugh at me against his chest. The content hum that rumbled in his chest made me smile despite the embarrassment on my cheeks. I was going to experience this every morning. Oh, wait, probably also another really awesome feeling. As someone that did the long-distance relationship thing for 5 to 6 years, yeah, there is nothing better than waking up with your significant other. Waking in his arms and feeling complete within them. James gently kissed over my head before squeezing around my waist, making me look up at him and become lost in his loving gaze.
What about you?
What about me? I want coffee. I let out a cheesy grin and paint across my face before pecking his chin with my lips lightly, making him stare wide-eyed at me in surprise and amusement. Sleep was good, but I'd rather be awake with you. James chuckled and kissed my forehead, hugging me tightly to him.
Well then, what shall we do today?
What shall we do indeed as we lay here in bed? Huh? Don't you have work? James shook his head and caressed my cheek lovingly. I unconsciously nuzzled his palm, loving the warmth radiating from it, as I stared at James, patiently listening.
I managed to grab a couple days off.
Aw, that's awesome. How many days?
How does a whole week sound?
More than a couple of days, actually. I grinned and squeezed him slightly in a hug of my own, making him laugh a bit and kiss my nose sweetly. You're all mine for a week?
For a whole week. No, I'm all yours regardless of that.
Aww. To hear him claim that made my heart skip a beat. No one else laid claim to him but me, and I was thrilled at that. I rested my head on his chest, listening to his heartbeat as he cradled my head to him and rested his cheek against my hair.
So, any ideas? We could go into Chicago and watch a couple of shows, or we could even fly out somewhere if you want.
Ooh, true. We can do anything?
Anything you want.
We have way too many clothes on then. I thought for a moment, trying to decide what to do. There were so many things available to us. But as I felt myself melt into James's embrace, I closed my eyes and rubbed my head against his chest. How about we lay here for a bit and decide later? Exactly. With a nod and a laugh, James gave me a loving squeeze and shifted to make himself comfy, allowing me to use his chest for my pillow. Aw, his pillowy man bosom. Well, the idea of the adventure was enticing. We could save it for when we were ready to really get out of bed.
As my beautiful wife wishes.
Aw. Good answer. I love you, James. James lifted my chin slightly and stared deep into my eyes, with an adoring gaze and smile, making every part of me practically swoon at the sight.
I love you too.
Aww.
More than anyone in the world.
Aww.
I will always be here beside you every morning and every night for as long as we live.
Aww. I believed every word. I let his words embed themselves into my heart, and I would remember them forever. As James finally kissed me, locking lips with mine, he sealed his words. His destiny was to be with me, and I to be with him. No angel could change that. No demon could break that. And that was my perfect happily ever after. And my destiny is with you. T. As in, what's the T? And that is James's route. I really like this ending. Achievement unlocked. My destiny is with you. Like I was saying, I really like this ending. It is good to see that it is possible to beat the angels, especially after, kind of getting curb stomped in the first 3 runs. Next time when we come back, we'll be starting a new path. I think we have 2 left at this point. We've done purple, red, blue, gold. That only leaves green and black. We'll see what we do next time. Until next, Taklikatelok Hiddo.